Jadon Sancho, Federico, deal or no deal? Welcome to the United Hotspot. There is an update when it comes to the transfer talk concerning the biggest football club in the world. Jadon Sancho, remember, Ineos are determined to clear him out of the club before the end of this week. Meanwhile, it is almost the same story with Juventus, where maybe the timelines could be different, but what is clear is that Juventus do not have Federico Chiesa in their long-term or even short-term plans, despite him having about 12 months left on his contract. So the talk coming through from Italy now is that the two clubs are expected to go into talks to try and agree on a swap deal. Give us what you don't want, we give you what we don't want. They are both wingers, almost play mostly from the same position. So obviously, it would easily be a direct swap. But the only issue is the valuation. Man United values Jadon Sancho at about 40 million pounds. Juventus and Chiesa, it's about 25 million pounds. But here's the situation. Here's what the story is. So we know that for Federico Chiesa, of course, ever since he suffered a couple of injuries with himself, that saw him out for the most part of 2022. Yes, I think it was 2022, and then he came back later in 2023. He struggled, to pick his form, his top form that saw him as one of the best wingers in the world. So, but he eventually became fit, and he's been playing for Italy at the Euros. Didn't go well for them, but he had a few games where he was the man of the match. So he feels that he's almost there, and he thinks it should be a top earner. This is the point. Him and his agent feel that he should be earning the maximum amount of money he can probably earn right now. This is the peak age for him where he should be earning like a top baller, because that's how they view him. So according to what we hear is that Chiesa wants to earn about 130,000 pounds per week, which is about 8 million pounds per year. That's the salary. It's actually about 6 million pounds per year. That's the salary he wants. Juventus offered him a new contract that was about they were willing to give him about 6 million euros a year, which is about 2 million euros less than what he wanted. That's about 4 million pounds. So he says, no, this is not right. So I won't take such a deal. I want top dollar. And that's why Juventus are saying, if top dollar is what you want, you won't get it from here, so go elsewhere. And they are willing to offer him to Premier League clubs. It's said that Liverpool as well were almost interested in him. They still could be interested in him. So, from what we gather, so Chiesa is saying that I would rather move on, go to England, start new life elsewhere, and earn at least my 130,000 pounds per week, because he feels, I think, in his calculation, but also his agent perhaps wants a big commission, so they feel that that's the right thing for their player for the player now. I mean, he's 26, really. If he doesn't earn that amount of money now, when will he ever earn it? So Juventus are saying, "Oh, come on, go elsewhere." So that's the situation. Just to sum it up for you with Federico Chiesa. But let's go back to Jadon Sancho, who we know the fate is, and it remains, was already decided that he will not be returning to Carrington. Of course, not when Eric Ten Hag is there. And I'm thinking, even if Eric Ten Hag had not stayed, I don't think Ineos were willing to bring back Jadon Sancho. I think not so many people are happy with him. Not just even his performances were not the most exciting. Never mind him reaching the final of the Champions League with Borussia Dortmund. So I feel like football might not might easily reject Jadon Sancho. So Man United have been intent on letting him go by the end of this week. I mean, trying to find a suitor by the end of this week. They're not willing to get little money. They want serious money because they spent quite a high amount on him, and they believe he's unlike. Some players they want to let go of that they signed for so much money. The likes of Donny van de Beek, who was only sold for 500,000 euros. They think his case is different. They think whereas he's not going to give them value. They still feel he's a valuable player in terms of his quality. He can still command a 40 million pounds. Yes, a big loss from what they bought him for, but they feel considering his high wage and stuff, that would be good riddance for them. So that's exactly what is going on with Jadon Sancho and Man United. So they have decided to let go of him. They're not. He's not turning back, and he should move on and find another club elsewhere. So that's exactly where. And now I look at this opportunity to bring in Federico Chiesa in a swap deal for Sancho. And of course, United might want to maybe add a clause where if Juventus sold Sancho in the future, get some more money, add in a bit of add-ons for Juventus if they took him in just a swap and no cash, negotiate for some add-ons because 25 million pounds, if that's what they value Federico Chiesa to be at, is way below. I think 15 million pounds below Man United's valuation of Sancho. But for me, I think whereas Chiesa may not be 100% fit for me, I think it would be a good deal for Man United to do. I think us getting Chiesa now, he's 26. We need a winger that we know. So you have Ahmad. Chiesa is a little ahead of Ahmad. We've not brought back Mason Greenwood. So if you bring Chiesa, I think he would be a good player for Ahmad Diallo to groom himself around. And I think it's easy to make a rotation of those two players because I think there are games where Ahmad will start and Chiesa will become. Chiesa is not your Michael Olise, who probably should be playing every minute of every game. I feel like Chiesa is the kind of player who will swallow humble pie if he's benched and Ahmad Diallo starts ahead of him. So yet he has got a lot more experience than Ahmad. There is a lot for Ahmad to learn from him. So for me, I think it would make sense because you're not spending any cash on him, you're not spending any money on him. He's creative, and I also feel that he has a chance. He can still prove himself more. That he's still that top player we saw in the last Euros, not these ones that are ongoing. So I feel for me the deal wouldn't be bad, considering that we are talking of a player we don't want, who is viewed as surplus requirements at Man United. So for me, Chiesa switching with Ahmad Diallo, I think would sound okay. There is something there. Because if you're building this club around these young players, you need to bring them more experienced players from whom they have something to learn. I think honestly, in his own admission, Ahmad Diallo will tell you probably he has a lot he can learn from a player like Federico Chiesa playing ahead of him. So my thinking is that would be a smart deal. I think it would be a good deal for Man United to do now. £130,000 per week, if that's what he dreams of earning. I think Chiesa, it's okay to give Chiesa that amount of money. Really, I think I mean, after all, you're not investing in the buying. You're not putting any cash in buying him. You're just investing in his wages. £6 million a year for Man United for a player like Chiesa, who was among the best players in the last Euros. This Euros as well has shown himself. I think he can give us something. He can give us some bit of value. So that's my honest opinion. So you can drop me a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think because this could be an opportunity. And looking at how we play, the way Man United plays, and the lack of a player like Chiesa, because whatever we thought Anthony would give us, I think Chiesa can give us. He has done it longer and at a bigger stage. I really think there is only positives from such a deal. I only see positives, honestly, if we did such a deal with Federico Chiesa. So I am for that deal. I think it's a deal for me. I would stamp it and say go for it so that we don't keep going back and forth, hoping that a club will come and give us £40 million for Sancho. Not so many clubs who are willing to pay any cash for Sancho. And I don't think Sancho will turn down an opportunity to join Juventus if it's going to give him a rebirth of his career. I think it's a big club. It's a huge club in Europe that would give him a proper opportunity for him to rediscover his boots and perhaps concentrate and play football again. So I'm for 100% for this swap deal. I didn't back that because before they were saying Mason Greenwood and Chiesa, I thought Greenwood is way ahead of Chiesa, but they have sold him for a deal that they feel is good. So for Sancho, just do it and seal it, and we move on. What do you think? My name is Webb. This is the Network Sport. Subscribe, like, and share, and I will catch you later, fam.